The parabola y equals x squared is dilated by a factor of a half from the x-axis. For part A, we want to write the corresponding mapping notation. So for this transformation, we have x comma y, and that is going to map to, and if we dilate from the x-axis, we're going to affect the y value. So it'll just be x comma, and then a dilation by a factor of a half is going to be a half multiplied by y. And then for part B, we want to determine the equation of the image graph. So we start with our mapping notation and we generate two equations. The first one says that the transformed x values are just equal to x, and the second equation says the transformed y values are equal to 1/2 times y. The next thing we need to do is solve for the non-dash terms. So for the first equation, we just have x is equal to x dash. For the second equation, we need to multiply both sides by 2 to get y by itself. So we find that y is equal to 2y dash. Then what we need to do is sub what we've just found into the equation y equals x squared, which was the original parabola. So wherever there's a y, I replace it with 2y dash. So I have 2y dash is equal to, and wherever there's an x, I'm going to replace it with x dash. So x dash all squared. And then if I divide both sides of this equation by 2, we'll solve for y, which is the convention for when we express an equation. And we can say that y1, the new graph, or the image graph, is equal to x squared on 2. And at this stage, we can leave the dashes out of our equation. For part C, we have the original graph that is shown on the set of axes, and on the same set of axes we want to sketch the image graph, and we want to clearly show where the coordinates -2, 4, 0, 0 and 1, 1 have been mapped to. So if we dilate by a factor of a half from the x-axis, that means our points are going to move halfway back towards the x-axis. So the point that was at -2, 4 is now going to be at -2, 2. For the point at 0, 0, if we multiply the y value by a half, we still have it being at 0, 0. So that point there does not change. For the point 1, 1, we multiply the y coordinate by a half, and this will move halfway back towards the x-axis, and our new point will be here, and that is going to be at 1, 1/2. So the new graph will look something like this in blue, where all of the x values have been dilated by a factor of a half from the x-axis.